Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Tuesday, December 26th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And then one special note, the markets are closed on Monday because it is Christmas. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will still be moving around. That's because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol NXTP. Very nice mover here today, and now a good solid pattern here has formed. So let's get this pattern drawn in a place here. So top part of the pattern, area of resistance. I think a lot of people have drawn a trend line very similar to that. And then on the same side of things as far as supports, drawn a trend line very similar to that. And then maybe to make this easier to see, let's keep it one color. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the big upwards move here. For you golfers out here, try to make it a little bit more visual, put a golf hole down here, and this will be known as a bull pennant pattern. So while nothing is guaranteed, is it plausible? Is it reasonable that if the price can come up here to the top of the pattern and get the break up through that level, that break in of itself could create additional buying pressure? Even if you just want to call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, I think that is a reasonable scenario. So if you like stocks down below $5, you like bull pennants, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one here, MARA, and once again, higher highs and higher lows. I think I've done this one every day of the week, but yeah, every day I come back and it's a broken record. Good problem to have, though. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little house cleaning and get rid of that level. And first update, just based on a foundational rule in charting, which states that when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So moving forward, well, the newest areas of support right here at $25, and we'll call it 15 cents. From the overarching standpoint, it's all continuing to be about that purple line there, the 50 period moving average. Keyword being moving, so as time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher. And as long as the price stays above that quote-unquote trend line, if you want to look at it as a trend line, then that means that the overall trend is still perfectly healthy. In terms of areas of resistance, nothing fancy here, just a question of where did the party finally stop today, and that was right up there at 27.75. So keep an eye on that as far as resistance is concerned. But all in all, the overall uptrend definitely continues and remains in the bull's favor. Next one here, ticker symbol NKLA, and this will mean a little bit more to those that have watched the previous videos, but if you haven't, I put in that trend line right there, and I mean the power of charts. You can see very nice move here. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. Right off of that trend line, rejected back down. Now, overall, it was still a good day. I mean, I'll draw this kind of crudely. There's basically a little miniature bull pennant pattern right there. So I don't want to say that today was a disaster or anything like that because it wasn't. I'm just saying it makes sense why the price did struggle at that area and that going into next week, this trend line up here certainly remains that main battleground from a resistance standpoint. In terms of levels of support, you're going to want to, in the very near term, keep an eye on that pink line right there, the 200 period moving average. But if the price were to drop below there, then I would say a much more important level to hold would then be down here at that green line at 81 cents. But all in all, good, healthy day. And, you know, there's just going to be just that many more eyeballs watching that resistance trend line next week. So we'll see if the price can push up through it. Next one here, ticker symbol NIO, and finally got some good clearance above that red line, which I talked about in the previous video. So I'm going to go ahead and call that good and call it officially broken. So we'll get that out of the way. In terms of levels of resistance now, watch moving into next week. I think it's pretty straightforward here. You can see that, right there, the price really just flattened out right there at, we'll call it $8.60. So in the very near term, that'll be that main area of resistance moving forward. And then if the price can push up through there, it's got some wiggle room. I do want to get in an overall trend line up here, as I could see this potentially coming into play here. Whoops. Like that. But, one hurdle at a time. First, got to get above that area of resistance right there. As far as supports are concerned, I do want to get in a trend line from that angle of things. And preferably speaking, let me change that to green to represent support. If the price can stay above that level there, that would be ideal. But from the big picture of things, as long as price does stay above that pink line right there, the 200 period moving average, and overall, the bulls are still in full control. So overall, good solid day here for the bulls. We'll see if they can build upon this momentum next week. Next one here, ticker symbol AMC, and this is one that tried to recover today, and it did get up to this level, and this will mean more to those that watched the previous video, but talked about $6.20 as an area of resistance, and right here, the power of charts. Had a nice bounce, but you can see right there is where it got rejected before coming back down. Now, the good news is it's not like it crashed today or anything like that, but nonetheless, $6.20 is certainly going to remain key level of resistance to watch into next week. In terms of levels of support, nothing fancy or complicated here, just a question of, where's the bleeding essentially stopped over the past day and a half, and that's been down there at 595. You can see a couple of times right there, and then another time from this morning right there. So if the price does come back down, then you'll want to keep an eye on that. But maybe what happens next week is this thing just enters into a big old sideways channel. That's always possible too, because right now you have a couple of well-defined levels. I'd say a little premature to call this a sideways channel pattern right now. But if, next couple of days, next week, the price stays within this range, and at that point, that would be a bona fide sideways channel. But moving into next week, 620 key resistance, 595 key support. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online web class that I'm offering next week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risks, then certainly get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Next one here, ticker symbol CAN, and very, very impressive mover. Let me just add in a little bit of context there. You can see good solid uptrend, and today put in some higher highs. So we'll get some levels here mapped out. First level from resistance standpoint. Whoops, grabbed the wrong line again. Grab this right here and put in that trend line right there as a resistance. Now what's interesting about these is you could have the price never break above that trend line, but the price would still be put in higher highs because this does have an upwards angle to it. But that seems to be one now that I think it's relatively obvious trend line. So you think a lot of people have potentially drawn it, and then you can get those potential self-fulfilling prophecies. So keep an eye on that from a resistance standpoint. In terms of areas of support, initial level in the near term, I'd call it down there right at $2.90. And then from the bigger picture, which I've already talked about in other charts, that purple line there, 50 period moving average, you can see the price doing a great job right there of respecting that area before getting the pushback upwards. So I'd keep an eye on those couple areas of support right there. But all in all, higher highs and higher lows, and that's what you want to see. Next one here, ticker symbol TLRY. Very, very impressive move today. Although it's looking like this level here is holding strong as resistance at $2.26. Now, I fully agree that the price did get up above it, but the problem is it was not able to maintain above it, and that's what comes with a true break. True break has two parts. The first is the obvious one. Well, yeah, price has got to break above a certain level, but the second part is, can the price maintain it? And again, the maintaining part is where it failed right here. Now, it doesn't mean that I can't recover and break up through it again. I'm just saying, as of right now, 226 is held strong and is apparently going to be that area of resistance, which does make sense because it was what rejected the price back a couple of days ago on that big spike. So that'll be the main battleground moving forward from the resistance side of things. In terms of areas of support, pretty straightforward. And once again, we have our purple line there, 50 period moving average. Maybe seems far away, but remember that is a moving average, meaning as time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher and get more and more relevant. But in my opinion, at least, I think the most interesting dynamic is all about that 226 mark and seeing if the price can get a break above it and then more importantly, maintain above it. Next one here, ticker symbol RKLB. Nice pattern here has formed. So big surge up, and then the price did pull back, but nothing crazy. It's not like the price crashed. If I could remember it, there we go. Not like the price crashed or anything like that. So just want to get this pattern in play. So there is our support. There is our area of resistance. And I don't know if I'd quite call this a bull pennant. I think a bull flag may be more appropriate. So there's our resistance support. Big move up right here. So bull flag pattern. Now, if you want to call this a bull pennant, I don't think I'd want to get in a fist fight with you over it. But like I said, if you like this price range down below $10, you like bull flag patterns, bull pennants, whatever you want to call it, then this one certainly meets that criteria. Next one here, TSLA Tesla. And once again, this trend line here, which I talked about in past videos, has been very annoying, as we just talked about. In terms of breaking above it, you can see right here, 2 candlesticks in a row, price was able to break above it. But when it came to maintaining and staying above it, it failed and down the price came. So overall, this trend line here remains the key level that you're going to want to watch into next week. So watch that. In the near term, the more important level is going to be that purple line there, the 50 period moving average. But if the price can push up through there as resistance, then yes, that overarching level definitely is that trend line right there. In terms of supports, nothing new here to report. Still all about that 250 mark down here, which I suppose the price has gotten a lot closer to than where it was when it was up here. So keep an eye on 250, and if the price comes down there and pushes down through there, at that point, that could open up some more momentum and, very realistically send the price down to that pink line there, the 200 period moving average. But you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself because as of right now, 250 hasn't even been tested. But if it does and fails, then you're going to want to keep an eye on these other areas. Next one, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ market. So if you believe the market or the NASDAQ as a whole is going to rise, this one will also rise. It just allows you access at a much lower price point, which makes it a very popular ETF. And overall, a fine day today. I'm sure people didn't really like the big collapse right there, but we do now have what I think is a pretty well-defined trend line that you got to think a lot of people have drawn. And, then you can start to talk about those self-fulfilling prophecies, and that would be that area right there. So no guarantees, but is it valid? Is it, plausible to think that if the price comes up here and pushes through that area, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure? That is certainly a plausible outcome. So keep a close eye on that. As far as resistances, in terms of supports, I'm just going to go ahead and move this level up now that we have more data. And that level way down there is kind of irrelevant. So 49.65 I would call as that first key level of support. And if the price can't quite hold above there, next key level down there at about 48.95. But all things considered, nice recovery from, the big crash that happened a couple of days ago. And the price is still very much so within striking distance of that trend line. So can the price break it next week and create another round of momentum to the upside for the NASDAQ? We'll see what happens. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to go get signed up for that free class. It'll be next week, Thursday, December 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, please do two things for me. Hit the like button, leave a comment down below. Those things help out with the algorithm, and I really do appreciate it. So like I said, those little things go a long way. So thanks for watching. Go get signed up for that free class, and everybody have a very Merry Christmas.